Today we're installing an air conditioning. I've been living in my 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon for way too long now, and there's no AC nor in the dash or in the living area here. And I just got something in the mail that I'm super excited about. It's an OutEqupPro 12-volt air conditioning. Welcome back, guys. If you're new here, my name is Sebastian, and yeah, I live in my old Volkswagen Vanagon here. And no, there is not air conditioning in the dash. The 1985 models did not come with air conditioning in the dash from the factory. I believe it was an option, I'm not too sure, but we have a whole different engine and a whole drivetrain setup in this thing anyway, so I did not install air conditioning while doing so. And I've been living off and on in my Volkswagen Vanagon here for the past couple of years, and the summers I never look forward to because it's just so freaking hot. Now I'm down here in Salt Lake City in my friend's driveway because I live in it full time and I need somewhere to work on this. Here we go with the unboxing to see what all comes in this big, huge box that weighs a lot more than I thought it would. Full disclosure, they did not send me this for free and they are not paying me for this. I just feel like doing an install video because I know a lot of people that own Volkswagen Vanagons and I know a lot of people that don't have air conditioning. I am not running a huge battery setup. It's just a 300 amp hour deep cycle lithium iron phosphate battery from Renogy. I do have an inverter, but this thing is 12 volt and it's supposed to be just plugged straight up to your deep cycle battery. I paid full price for this air conditioning. It was about $850, somewhere in that area. I did not get the one with the heater, so we'll see how that plays out during the winter. Here's everything that's in the box. We have the inside face cover. I believe it's the one with the vents and whatnot. It's got a few electrical connections on the back. I don't want to mess any of that up because I'm not very good with electrical. Let's set that off to the side. We have the air conditioning unit itself, a couple foam insulation pieces. I think these go on the inside, around the inside of that thing. Got a few bits and bobs. Looks like it comes with all threads and zip ties. I don't know, a little user manual. Instruction guide right here. I've heard this isn't the best. It should be pretty straightforward. I mean, it's a pretty DIY install. Right now, I'm running the Max Air fan, so it's got the 14 by 14 square already, and I might have to redo the cedar paneling up there from the inside, and hopefully it fits on the roof on the top, since I do have this hump on the back side of it, and I know these have quite a bit of an overhang from the center back, so super curious to see if it'll actually fit without doing some major modifications. This looks like the seal, the square 14 by 14 hole seal with the sticky backside. I believe the stickiness should be enough to keep water out. However, I'm going to use a little bit more sealant because I do not want this thing to leak. These little dowels in here I saw are really nice because they're just hard plastic or rubber, I guess. And you have the squishy seal here, and then these dowels will go in place. I mean, they're kind of tight, but yeah, they'll go in place here. So once you do tighten it up, it'll compress the seal just enough, but these will stop it all the way around. So you don't over tighten it, and it's like a level seal all the way around. Looks like these are the two mounting brackets for the inside of the vehicle where you could attach to the roof. I believe you mount these to the roof and then you just have the all threads with a couple of bolts through those. Super simple, super straightforward mounting system. The wires are already connected on here. Looks like there's an inline fuse. I was thinking of running it through a breaker anyway. Yep, 100 amp inline fuse right there. So that's not too bad. I think this is 6 gauge wire and it's already crimped with connectors. I don't know if this is gonna be long enough, but we'll see. I have some more wire if not. We have two harder foam sticky things, I believe, to prop up the back of the unit. Like you put these on the back and it just holds up the back because it does have that overhang. And then we have the remote that does not come with batteries, and the the rest of the decorative shield for the inside. That will go in there and it'll look really cool. So I'm gonna start by removing the Max Air fan that I just installed the other week. So all of the caulking should be nice and fresh on there, but I think it's still gonna be a huge mess. I've been living in my van in Jackson, Wyoming for the better part of like, I don't know, 7 or 8 months. So I've lived there throughout the winter and it wasn't too bad. I have the cheap Chinese diesel heater in the van here. And I was debating on getting air conditioning for the summer, but I debated too long, and now it's really freaking hot out here. In Salt Lake, it's currently got a little thermostat here. It's 94.1 degrees in the van. So maybe 85, 90 degrees outside with the sun beaming down on the roof here. Even with the good insulation. Actually, this feels freaking nice with the insulation on the roof, but everywhere else below the roof, it's really toasty on the walls and all of the million windows on the van. So I wasn't too sure if I was gonna go with air conditioning or not. That's why I didn't do it initially when I installed the high top. And yeah, if you're new here, I just installed this high top not too long ago, like within the past month. And I already cut the hole for the Max Air fan, but it's okay because the OutEqupPro should be good with the 14 by 14 inch square that's already in the roof. Apparently it's like a standard thing throughout the RV world. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my fancy wood ceiling now. I definitely should have spent some more time with the tape measure before doing this, but more on that later. All right, this is gonna be the fun part, is cleaning up the old seal. I'm gonna peel back all of the lap sealant here so I can get to the screws and then try and peel this up in one piece. When initially installing this Max Air fan, I used butyl tape and lap sealant. I wasn't too sure how the lap sealant would hold up, but seeing it now after a couple of weeks, I'm glad I used this stuff because it's super easy to remove and clean up if you have to take it off.
It's not that bad, dude. It's like maybe 4 more inches. The question is, do you want that all? No, that all has to be exposed, right? Old piece of fiber. Did you keep it by chance? That old piece of fiberglass that you cut out?
Yeah, I don't think I kept that.
Yeah, so you have to do some sort of patch. We need more.
I was thinking of getting.
Than we're gonna get.
I could get like a sheet of aluminum.
Yeah.
And then just slap it up top and seal it down. Do a good overlap and seal it down because that'll be malleable.
How far forward do you gotta cut?
So like.
That far? Really?
Maybe. Well, how is it? Is it touching the back slope?
It is. I wouldn't go any further back.
The radiator in the back, they put that seal on, which is a perfect square, and the radiator in the back, like the seal comes like midway right here.
Which is not good.
That's not how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So now I could actually do it right, and I'm gonna have to cover this back section and put the seal right here. Alex is thinking. Alex and no one else came up with this idea, and he was saying instead of, because I'm gonna have to cover 3/4 of this 14 by 14 square right here and patch that, and then we're thinking, Alex said everything. We're gonna put it right here. Just testing it out. Yeah.
Take a look.
Yeah, I think that's the move. Put a panel on the back still.
You could do a small panel on the back.
And maybe
and then
one
have like
over
a foldable, deployable one, because you got the DC to DC charger while you're driving. So it's not necessarily you need to charge while you're driving. You got to charge while you're camping. You know?
I could put one 100-watt solar panel in the very back, or no, I could fit a 200-watt panel. It might overhang a little bit.
But then and I was just joking, Sebastian. I don't need any credit for it.
Oh, I know.
I was just messing.
I know.
You cut that hole too, and it sinks in there. It looks a little awkward right now, but dude, I think once it's like sitting flush on the roof, it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be fully pimped out, dude, because you're going to Baja, you're going to Europe, you're going to Russia, and then you never come.
Allegedly. Alright, I measured 1.5 million times, and this is a 14 by 9 rectangle that's pretty center with the ceiling of the van or the roof of the van. So they've got a few different measurements on here. If you already have a 14 by 14 square, it will work. I think the max is, it says 16.5 by 15.7 inches. But the minimum size is 14 by 9, so it's this guy right there. That's what I'm gonna be going with, a 14 by 9 square to minimize the yeah. All right, it's time to cut the big hole. Put a trash bag under where the hole is gonna be, so when fiberglass does fall down, falls into the trash bag and not on my bed. I'm okay with wood shavings everywhere, but fiberglass just makes everything itchy. So let's cut this hole. It died. Here's a first rough test fit. It's looking pretty flush. I am pretty stoked about how this is turning out. It looks pretty even on both sides. I'm gonna make sure it's perfectly level before permanently installing this. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take it off and put this seal down and put some lap sealant around it and get this thing permanently installed. I've decided to trim down the seal that was provided in the box because it was more for a 14 by 14 square and it was even too big for that. So since this is a 14 by 9 rectangle, I'm just trimming it down, making sure not to leave too many open places for water to seep through. And then once the cuts are made and it's all sealed down, I will fill all the gaps with lap sealant. I don't believe the lap sealant is required to install this AC because the foam strip does pretty well, but I like lap sealant and I have some handy, so I'm using lap sealant. It came out pretty good, and now I just need to install this hard piece of foam somewhere in the back. Okay, I tried putting the foam pieces on the side just because it looked better, but it didn't lift it up enough in the rear for the seal to fully seal, and it's still coming up a little bit in the front, so I'm gonna install the brackets underneath and hopefully it pulls it tight. I might end up having to put some more lap sealant in there once it's all said and done. Either that or add some more height in the back with something else. Here's all the hardware that came in the package. We got the longer all thread type screws, and then some screws for the trim piece, some lock washers, and nylon lock nuts washers, and an extra vent and some sticky stuff for the wire, and a couple of zip ties. I've seen people use these brackets just like over their ceiling, but my ceiling isn't the most stable thing here, so I wedged mine up under, or between the ceiling and the fiberglass. I'm just gonna wedge it up onto the fiberglass itself because that's a lot more sturdy and looks like I won't run out of threads with the shorter all threads here. And yeah, I'll just cinch it down. It's kind of weird that these two cinch points are so close together, so I want to put the other bracket on. I can't get my socket over these anymore to tighten it anymore, so I think I'm going to pull these off one at a time and use a sawzall and cut these down. Alright, I got the mounting brackets on, and this thing is pretty freaking sturdy. Now I'm working on the wiring, so I was going to cut another hole and have the wires go into another hole on the roof. However, I saw something in the instruction manual that said I could run them through the unit itself, so that's what I'm working with. Now I've got the top cover off. It was just a couple Phillips head screws all around the unit, and then I took this foam cover off that's sealed in a few places, but just a couple more Phillips head screws around that, and that sits right above here. And then there's this wire that goes through this little notch right here. So I'm going to make this notch bigger and then run this wire through it and this big wire through it. So I'm going to make it pretty substantial and then seal that, because that separates the outside of the unit from the inside of the unit. And I'll seal that, throw the top cover back on, and then the actual big cover back on, and then route these wires inside the van. All right, things are looking good here. I've got all the wood paneling back on the ceiling. I was able to route this power wire through the top end here, behind the ceiling panels, and then I cut a little notch here. I'm gonna have it running on the outside of the side panels, and then just stick it to this side here, and then kind of route it down through here, and then I don't know if it's long enough, but try and make my way to the battery, which sits right under the bench seat here. I plugged everything in. I don't know if I'm missing any wires, but I've got three connectors plugged in, and that's all I could see coming from the unit itself up here, so should be good. We'll see. I cinched everything down, everything's looking good, and then now I just need to put some insulation in there. It came with this stuff. I don't know if I'll use all of it or any of it at all. It's supposed to go like this around, but I might just go sideways and shove it up in there to compensate for the stuff that I pulled out. All right, since there isn't any like walls on the sides of this intake vent, I'm assuming that's the intake vent that goes up in here that I blocked off with all the wires, I went ahead and put all of the foam around that area, and just so it doesn't pull from above the ceiling there. And now the next thing to do is to screw it up and have it permanently installed. I'm back in Wyoming, as you can tell, and the AC is completely installed and it's been working. It's been working really well. So I haven't been running it too much, unfortunately, because it is a lot cooler out here, and during the day I try and stay busy. And to take into account that I do not have solar panels on the roof yet, the 300 amp hour deep cycle lithium battery can keep it running. I had it running for over 2 hours yesterday on its lowest setting, and it kind of kept up. Where I have it mounted right here is absolutely perfect. It turned out to be one of the best spots I could have mounted this, even though it makes the outside of the van look a little bit taller with it not being on this lower section. These 4 vents blow straight down to where I usually sit. So if I'm sitting right here, then the vents just blow straight on me. It couldn't be any better. I haven't had it running while I'm sleeping yet, obviously, because I do not have the solar panels, but I do think if I am staying in Salt Lake, I might be able to keep this thing running. Maybe not all night. I'm not too sure yet. I haven't done a stress test on it just yet. I'm thinking maybe in the next video I will do a full stress test and see how long I can keep it running without solar panels, just on the 300 amp hour battery. I'll unplug my fridge and have nothing else on the battery, and I have some battery monitors that I'll be installing as well. I'll install that and see how much power this thing's actually drawing, because I'm just as curious as you are. And when I do have solar panels on, I'm planning on the 400 watts of solar. So once that's installed, I am fully confident that I'll be able to run this thing all day long with the sun out, because I'll be bringing in 400 watts. And if I have this thing on eco mode, so like maybe medium setting, I'll be pulling 300 to 400 watts out of it, and it'll just continuously keep my battery topped off, hopefully. And I don't know, I'll still be running the fridge, and if I have the lights on, it'll be pulling a little bit more power, so I'm not exactly sure on that just yet. That's what I'm gonna try. So I'm still waiting on solar panels. Those are coming soon. And I have the DC to DC charger in here. It's the 50 amp DC to DC onboard battery charger with MPPT. So I went with this one so I could have it pull amps from the alternator, and once I do install the solar, I'll be able to charge it with the solar as well. I'm pretty sure it does it simultaneously. I'd have to double check on that. I'm not too sure, but either or, it charges the battery. All right, I'm gonna have to wrap this up now. I'm stoked I got the AC installed, and oh yeah, I reinstalled my Max Air fan because I should have taken more measurements. What can I say? Oh well. So I'm gonna do a stress test on this thing next week for next week's video and see how long it could run on my 300 amp hour battery. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, and if you have any questions at all, I'll do my best to answer them. Just leave them down in the comment section below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next week.